Hello and welcome to the final run of UKSG Winter 2020. Stop poking me in the back. I had this whole speech planned of like, how, come on guys, we've got to hit 2,000 by the end of the run, but you've just gone and done it, so thanks for ruining that plan. Something about Sekiro's hype. Right, so most importantly first is the language. As you see here are options, and Japanese won, of course. But now for the much bigger decision, do we pick default Japanese or Japanese? I think they're exactly the same. How about Japanese? So I've never actually played on non-default Japanese, so if it is different, we'll find out. Okay, just make sure that definitely saved. Yep. Okay, and then we will get into it. Are you ready on time? Okay, let's start in 3, 2, 1, go! Right, this is going to be Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, PC, Shura ending, no Airswim. So, Sekiro is like a spiritual successor to Dark Souls. Basically, it's Samurai Dark Souls. So, through this first area, we can't sprint. Anytime we can't sprint, jumping is slightly faster, so we will do that. And I'm going to explain the category while we do this. So, firstly, Shura ending. So there's 3 different endings in this game. Maybe 4. Is there 4 endings? So the shortest ending by far is called Shura. It's like the evil ending. Basically about 70% of the way through the run, we're going to get a key decision. And if we take the path that a normal person would take, where you just go, yeah, we're going to fight for the good side that we've been doing the whole run, then you carry on towards one of the normal endings. However, you go, do you know what? Let's join the evil side and be super evil. Then you immediately get a final boss fight, and that's the Shura ending. So it cuts off a good portion of the run. At the end, secondly after that, we are going to be doing no Airswim. So no Airswim is like basically like kind of like no major glitches, but the only major glitch is airswimming. So the any percent category in this game, which is unrestricted, basically you just go as fast as possible to be able to swim underwater, and then just abuse being able to swim into the air to go through the rest of the run, which is cool. But it doesn't show off as many tricks, and it's also less marathon safe. This will shows off a bigger variety of tricks, and so is my preferred category. It also skips out some really annoying things in glitch list, like the gun fort area. So that's the category, and then we're going to be going through. So we're in the prologue right now. We can't really do anything other than just get to the end. We can sprint now because we have our sword. So I'm going to be using keyboard for certain parts of the run. Mostly for hard tricks. Pretty much every trick in the game I'm going to use keyboard, but I'm also going to use keyboard for this section here, just because it lets me run in a straight line more easily, which probably saves, you know, like a couple of frames. So this boss fight coming up, you can beat him, but you have to beat him without being hit. And as soon as you get hit, the fight ends. So we just get hit as soon as we possibly can. And there we go, Genichiro. We will get our revenge later, do not worry. Okay, so now we're into the start of the run, and this is where it gets pretty freaking intense. So we're going to be running to our very first boss fight of the run, which is Chain Ogre. So last time I ran this game at UKSG, I actually played it pretty reasonable. I did like marathon safe strats, avoided the hard tricks, but we're not going to do that this time. I'm going to go for all the really hard tricks you would go for if you were going for world record. It's probably going to go really horrible, but so very first trick of the game is by far and away, not even close, the hardest trick in the game. There is absolutely no words I can put into to explain how unbelievably difficult this trick is. So we are basically going to try and skip Chain Ogre. It's called Ogre Skip. And every single day in the Discord, we get new runners that come in and say, hey, I've been trying Ogre Skip for like 3 hours straight and never got it. And we're just like, yeah, same. That is how hard this trick is. So I'm going to go for it for a little while. Oh, I missed that jump. That kind of sucks. But it's no big. This jump is actually harder than it looks. This tree is really glitchy. That's fine. And actually, just for safety, I want to heal. Yes, I want to heal. So we're going to go for it right now. I only get a certain amount of tries. I'm probably not going to get it, and then I'm just going to fight Ogre safe as normal. But if I do get it, like, you have to go crazy. But for now, just serious time while I just give this a couple of tries. Okay, this is okay, one more try. Okay, yeah, I didn't even get the first part of the trick, but it's totally fine. The main thing is that I didn't like completely screw everything. So now we're gonna fight Ogre. So I'll explain Ogre and then I'll explain the trick that I was trying to do. So basically we're not gonna lock on. This guy has one incredibly dangerous attack. So I need to play it really safe. That is the attack that's really, really dangerous. If I die, it's actually really bad. So I'm just gonna play it nice and safe. Okay, that should be it. If we do the death blow in the back, it's a little bit faster. Okay, so as we run to the next trick, I'll try to explain what I was trying to do. So basically, it's kind of like you basically have to, what I was trying to do is what's called a drop jump, where you run off the edge and then you like run off the edge as you jump. It's ridiculously precise to get, and I didn't get the drop jump a single time. It's just, I reckon it's probably frame perfect plus RNG, something like that. I don't know. We honestly have no idea how precise it is, but you know, that's to be expected. In all my practice runs, I got it one time. Now we're going to be going for another trick. So this trick is really, really stupid for me to go for, but I just want to show everything off in this run. So we're going to be going for something called Canyon Skip. It's a really hard jump, saves 6 seconds, loses about 40 seconds. So fingers crossed. If we, Oh, okay. Never mind. The snake was like, do you know what? You're not even going to try this trick. I'm not even going to let you do it. So that's kind of weird. I've not actually ever had that happen while going for Canyon Skip, but it was I was a bit slow running up to him, so obviously he kind of aggroed me when normally he wouldn't. So we'll just do it the normal way. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. The normal way is still like got some strats to it, so that's cool. So we're running through here. We're basically running towards the first major boss fight of the run. This will be the only shimmying we do in the run. If you like tap shimmy, you go faster. Nobody really knows like what rate shimmying is the fastest, but some amount of shimmying is the fastest. And then we can skip going into there by just dodging like that. And then don't worry, we're just inside the snake, but don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we're coming up on another trick. This time it is Gyoubu skip or horse skip. This is much easier than the previous two tricks. But I am going to grab this safe idle just in case it goes really badly. So yeah, this trick is actually it's still difficult, but much more doable. Hopefully I get it first try, because it takes a little bit of time to reset if you fail it, but should be okay. So here we go. So basically it's 2 unintended jumps to get outside the boss arena, and then we bait him to fall off the edge. So I walk in a particular path to AI manipulate him as well. Jump 1. Okay, I jumped slightly too early, so gonna have to try that again. So basically this is another drop jump, so the way it works is very similar to Chain Ogre, the Ogre skip, but it's much more lenient. It's now only like pretty precise rather than absolutely off the scale precise. But it's fine, we can just quit out and restart the fight like this. So it's one of those tricks where in-game time it doesn't actually cost that much time to reset because we don't include loading times, but in a marathon setting it's kind of frustrating. Too early again. It's just marathon luck right here. Like, in practice I get this most of the time, but it's all good. It's all good. The estimate is pretty lenient, really, for stuff like this. But yeah, if you have any, you can probably read like a donation or something if you want to say something, just until I get this trick. While I just concentrate to make sure I'm trying to get it. Okay, we got it.
We've got no donations in at the moment, but that doesn't mean that there isn't any time left. We've still got the entirety of this run. And oh boy, you're going to love what's coming in the afterthoughts thanks to your donations. But yeah, do please keep them coming in. It would be fantastic if we could hit 2,100 by the end of the marathon. Once again, thank you for all your generosity.
All right, so you probably blinked and missed it, but we actually got the best RNG you could get, the RNG you need for world record, which is that he immediately runs off the edge straight away. We didn't need to wait at all, so that's great. But there's another trick. This is bull skip. First try, nice. Last UKSG, that took a lot of tries, so that is nice to get. So that's basically an unintended, you can see I'm kind of out of bounds, walking around the edge of the bull arena here. Okay, so that is kind of the early game of the run. So if you want world record, you pretty much need to be about 6:30 at this point. It's ridiculously reset heavy at the start of this run, mainly because of Ogre Skip, but all those 4 tricks that you have to nail all back to back. But now, it's still going to be pretty fast paced, but for me it's a little bit more of a break, but plenty of stuff to explain. So we'll be picking up some money, because we need money, because we need the tags that you use to use arts, and so we pick up some money because we're going to buy some, because we're not going to get any other way. So the trick coming up here, it doesn't really make that much sense to do a marathon in an RTA setting, but I want to show it off. So here, basically, we need to not get caught, because the way quitting out works in this game is when you quit out and reload, you go back to where you last were when you weren't in combat. And I want to do a quit out here to drop an elevator as quickly as possible. So we need to be super stealthy and not get spotted so we don't go into combat. And just like that, nobody spotted us. So now when we pull this elevator, we can just quit out straight away and load back in, and the elevator will be down rather than us having to wait about 10 seconds for it to get to the bottom. Like I say, because in RTA, obviously quitting out takes a bit of time. Didn't save that much time, but it's a cool little strat. Another thing you have to do if you want to get world record. Okay. So we'll be moving up into Senpou Temple. So normally if you're playing the game casually, you go fight Genichiro, but we're not going to do that. We want to be much stronger before we fight him, so we have a faster fight. Little trick there, jump up before the elevator gets to the top. We have to walk here to cancel the dialogue so that we can go into grab this idol. This is not a safety idol, we need it for later. But we're going to be going to Senpou Temple, which is definitely not where you go if you're going casually, because this is where you would go to get the Mortal Blade, which is required for the game, but you can't actually get the Mortal Blade until you beat Genichiro, because the game won't let you go to the monkey's boss fight without having beaten him. But with an out-of-bounds trick, we can get there. It turns out that the monkey's arena is just stored directly below this area. So all we need to do is fall to it, but there's obviously death planes and stuff, so we've got to get out of bounds. So we need to find a place to get out of bounds and then fall down into the arena so that we can do that boss fight. It's nice to do that boss fight now because it's a boss fight that doesn't, like, how strong I am doesn't matter, and it gives us a memory which makes us stronger, so we can do other fights faster. So we will just be coming up to where we can go out of bounds. So first we need this idol again. Again, it's not a safety idol, we actually are coming back to this. Just grapple up here. So something about grappling is that grappling is camera based, so I will pull the camera in directions to manipulate what node I can grapple to. Oh, I didn't quite get the jump. Okay, so this is the part where we go out of bounds. So jump to here. Climb on this tree. Okay, that was bad. Slightly fell off the tree before I did it. Dodge some death planes. It's harder than it looks. And then we need to head over here and navigate blind through the falling area. So I'm looking very closely at my screen so that I can see where I am. There we go. Okay, we need to be a bit more left. Should be fine. This is a fairly lenient trick once you get the out of bounds. So we just grapple so we don't die from fall damage. Okay, we weren't in range for the grapple. My camera I think what happened there is my camera was slightly too far to the right, and it caused me to not grapple to the right node. One bit left. Oh yeah, so I hit the death plane. That sucks. Do we have a heal? I am. Okay, yeah, cool. Oh god. Okay, that's not great. It's fine then. It's fine because we're not. As long as we don't run out of HP, we should spawn back up there. Okay. Okay, we dodged the death planes, but that was a much worse fall. So hopefully we can still fall far enough. Okay, we're a bit left. It's going to be close if we get this or not. Or we're really far away. That's not looking good. Okay, that's a shame. But that's fine. We grabbed an idol pretty much right before this, so we can get pretty quickly back to doing this. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Another trick that I almost never fail at home, but like it's one of those things where so many tricks in this game are really precise. Like I'm looking at like individual like pixels, and it's like if the screen is slightly brighter or darker than I'm used to, that's all affecting my ability to tell like where I am out of bounds and things like that. Okay, yeah, clip the death plane there because we got a slightly weird jump. Okay, that was also a really bad jump because I tried to really hard to avoid the death plane. I did not expect this to be the trick that gave me so much trouble, and I'm really far left. So this is not, I'm not feeling this one either. But maybe. Oh, we got it. There we go. Okay. Right, no worries at all. It's all fine. Okay, so as long as I don't mess this up. So, this is the monkeys. This is like a mini-game boss almost. We need to kill 4 monkeys. And they don't fight us, they just run away. But by using the Gachin sugar to stealth us, it becomes a lot easier. There's an invisible monkey somewhere here. Where are you? There you go. It's kind of random where he ends up. So if any of the monkeys go wrong, it's this one, and it'll be really bad. Okay, all right. Okay, so we made it out of this section, so that's good. Unfortunate monkey skip, but we got there. That's the most important thing. So, for all of you weebs that have voted for Japanese, this is your moment. So get your ayahs in chat ready. There you go, Nani. So anyway, so we've got the Mortal Blade. We equip the Mortal Blade, equip Puppetage and Ninjutsu, and now we do a bit of menuing. So we're going to use the memories that we've got. So that's Gyoubu that we made him to fall off the edge. It's the monkeys that we just killed. So that's going to make us deal more damage. Then we... oh, I forgot to use the... Forgot to do some menuing earlier. It's all good. And then that allows us to... So we, use the money pouch, bought some tags, so we can use the Puppeting Ninjutsu, which we're going to need, and also use Mortal Blade for the final boss fight. So this is what part of the route where it gets pretty interesting. So those of you that play the game casually will notice that this is quite an odd place to go now. So we're going to basically be going to an optional area in the game that you don't actually have to go to. It's actually used in the return ending, which is a completely different ending than the one that we're going to. But that optional area that we're going to go to is connected to a much later area in the game. But you're not supposed to be able to traverse between the areas. But by using a trick, we are going to be able to do that. So what we did is we used Puppeting Ninjutsu on that guy, and that made him release a kite, which we can now grapple to get to this optional area. But basically, so what the problem is that we're going to be much higher up in the area than where we want to be. But there are death planes and other things where the game's just like, no, you can't go that way. So the old way you would do this trick is that you would grab contact poison, and then you would die in midair and fall through the death plane. But it turns out, and I discovered this, it's like my only contribution to the run, just entirely by mistake, if you land on a very particular pixel, you just stay down there, and it's a way to get through the death plane. So this is like also really, really precise. You can make it consistent using keyboards. So we're going to stand in a very precise place. Place our camera in a very precise place. Mash print screen to lag the game. Then keep mashing print screen. I've got no idea if mashing print screen helps, but it just feels like it helps. So, and look, it worked first try. So obviously it does help. So there we go. We got the trick first try. We quit out. That basically convinces the game, oh, like you're there, you're in that area, so we'll let you be there. So it despawns the death plane below me, and lets me go all the way down here, and now we are much further into the game. So we skipped out the whole gun fort area where you would dodge the not dodge, you'd run across the bridge would collapse. And then you'd fall down here. Don't worry, that snake is totally harmless. His hitboxes are really weird, and we can abuse that to just swim straight through. So there's another interesting trick. So before I mentioned the way that quitting out works relating to being in combat, whenever you quit out, it puts you in the last place you weren't in combat. So we're going to do basically the opposite of what we did with elevator skip earlier on. So we're going to intentionally be in combat for an area here, because we want to backtrack. So we're in combat with these monkeys now, as you can tell by the music and the sound effect of them aggroing on us. These monkeys need to aggro on us really fast, which they did. That's pretty good. And now we're going to grab this idol. And now we basically just want to backtrack to where we were. And rather than run back, we are going to just do a quit out. And it's about a 50-50, although it looked like it did work. We will be back right where we want to be. It's pretty hard to tell if you're not familiar with the game, like where I've gone, but you will see that I was right next to that idol and I quit it out, and that's not where I'm going to be when I load back in. So let's see if we got the good. If we get the good bit, we get to do a death-defying leap. Oh yes, we got it. Nice. So now we get to do this jump. We grapple it, so it's fine. That's actually way easier than it looks. It looks like you are gonna die, but you never die. It's fine. So this is the part where we really need to remember not to pick up the ash, otherwise the run is over. So we picked up the ash. Nice. So we're also going to another optional area here. Basically, because we're in an area much later in the game, they added a shortcut back to a different area, because they were like, oh, well, you're already going to be here, right? So that's unintended, by the way, but it's fine. They thought, oh yeah, that'll be cool if we had this shortcut, but we can abuse that shortcut to get to another area that we have actually never been to, which is the Ash Inner Depths. So coming up here is a pretty interesting boss fight, and this boss is actually pretty dangerous, so we're just going to be grabbing a safety idol here, and I'll rest as well, just for super safety. So basically we're going to do a strat that we call cheesing, or like dead angling. Basically there's a mechanic in this game, and some other Dark Souls games, where if you're not looking at an enemy, they will never guard your attack. So we're going to like basically push the boss into a wall, well, the mini-boss, and they won't be able to block our attacks. Okay, that was really good. That was really good. Nice. So that strat is actually really difficult. There are loads of things that can go wrong. It's really difficult to push the boss in the right position and then immediately get in the right position to do the attacks. If you're even slightly slow, it gives the boss a chance to hit you. It all goes out of control. It's all horrible. Ugh, but we got it, so nice. So coming up is the most dangerous enemy in the entire game. My PB dies to this enemy and loses 10 seconds. There is nothing you can do other than do a safe strat, which loses time, to avoid this guy. So fingers crossed that this goes okay. Oh, he went for it. He jumped up in the air. So that Black Rooster, if he wants to, he can just kick you off and he'll kill you. And then you lose a load of time. But he didn't. He thought about it though. He jumped up into the air. Okay. So we are going to be doing another little strat here. This is called Temple Skip. It's quite a nice little skip. It saves about 15-20 seconds doing the intended strat to go around this area. So hopefully I get it first try. It's a little bit finicky. Nice, there we go. And then killing Miss Noble. There you go. If you miss that death blow, it's so sad. And it happens all the time. Well, more often than it should. Hardest boss fight in the game here. Okay, alright, we got him, we got him. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So coming up at the end of this next area is a pretty interesting boss fight, very unique. So throughout the game we've been picking up some ash, 5 ash in fact, and we've also picked up 3 snap seeds. So they're all for this boss coming up. So this boss has a weird quirk to it, where you can do an aerial death blow which will one-shot the boss, but there's actually no normal way of actually being able to get above the boss to do it. But if you meet 2 prerequisites, 1, the boss doesn't aggro onto you, so it doesn't see you, and 2, you get above the boss, you can just one-shot the boss. The way we're going to do that is we're going to use all of our items while behind the boss to push the boss back without aggroing her, and if we push her back enough, we can jump off a pillar, get above her, and then we'll have to do the aerial death blow. This strat is very scary because you get 1 try. If you mess it up, then you don't have the items, and then you just have to reset and cry. I have a backup save, but I really don't want to invalidate the run. So we need to do some menuing, equip the items. Okay, I need serious time for this strat. Nice. Okay, we got it. Okay. Alright, so that is that boss fight. If we were going for world record, I'd do a quit out here, which would make the doors open straight away. It takes about 2 seconds, but it loses like 10 seconds RTA, so I won't do that. And there's no point just quitting out in a marathon. So now we're actually going to go fight Genichiro after we use our memories, after we pick up the Shelter Stone. So if you've got any donations or anything, now is a good time. Or I can just keep talking, that's totally fine. So to explain kind of what we've been doing in the game, so in order to trigger the dialogue option where we can pick the Shura ending, we need to get 3 items. 1, Mortal Blade, picked that up earlier. 2nd, Shelter Stone, we just picked that up. And lastly, we need to get, where are we going? We're going there. We need to kill Genichiro and then pick up the Lotus Flower. So there's 2 things we're left to do before we can trigger the end of the game. So we are going to head up and fight Genichiro first. We actually have to fight Genichiro first before the Lotus Flower. Otherwise, it soft locks the game because it simultaneously will have the Owl fight and the Genichiro fight stacked on top of each other at the top of Ashina Castle, and the game absolutely does not handle it. And as far as we know, there's absolutely no way of progressing a save file after that happens. It'd be pretty cool if we found a way though, because that would significantly change the routing for some categories. But as far as we know. So little skip here, dojo skip. It's one of the easiest skips, but I mess it up all the time. But we got it, nice. So now we're going to do another boss fight. It's another boss fight we're going to cheese. It's easier than the Snake Eyes cheese, but still very easy to mess up. If you make one mistake, it'll all just go out of control. So do some AI manipulation here. Make him jump into this corner. And here we go. So as long as I don't make any mistakes, it's extremely unlikely for him to break out. There is a way, but it's very unlikely if I do this strategy. He can jump up in the air and shoot arrows, but it's super, super rare. But I've just jinxed myself, so there we go. He felt like it, but he didn't. So he isn't blocking our attacks because we're not looking at him, remember? So unfortunately, we have to actually fight the last fight properly. If you get great RNG, this fight is completely free. If you get really bad RNG, this fight is absolutely horrible. We really want to see lightning. That's what we want to see. Great start. Now just do it again. Okay, so we only got 1 lightning, which is okay. Quite a lot of the time you get just 2 lightning straight away, which is the perfect RNG. But we did a flawless fight, so I'm actually really bad at that fight if you get really bad RNG, because he has loads of really rare attacks you basically never see, and it's just like, how do you deal with this attack? I have no idea. But but we got through it. So we're coming up towards the end part of the run, but we still got to do the Lotus Flower, which is behind the Guardian Ape. But we are not actually going to be fighting Guardian Ape. We're going to do something called Ogre Skip. So Ogre Skip is a very long sequence of out of bounds. That gave me a lot of trouble last time I did this UKSG. It's very tricky. Basically, it's like a very long multi-part out of bounds. You basically can't see the collision at all. What you can see is not the collision. And I'm like inches away from death the whole time. So full serious time on this trick. So for safety, I'm going to do quit out here. It loses a bit of time, but it de-aggroes the boss, which basically reduces the pressure because he can actually throw projectiles at you. And if he does throw a projectile and you're in a bad spot, you just die. But this way, I can just really take my time. So that was the really scary jump. And that is an ape skip. Nice, nice. First try. Whew. Okay, that is a massive pressure off because if you fall out of bounds, you just fall for like 40 seconds and there's nothing you can do. You can't pause the game, you can't do anything until you eventually hit the bottom of the world that kills you and you have to do the whole trick all over again after reloading the save game. It's so bad. But we are now running up to the final boss, so if you've got any donations or anything to read out, go for it right now. It's your last chance.
We don't have any more donations coming in at the moment, and you heard Murtag there. He's saying it's his last chance, or our last chance, to get some donations in here. It would be great if we could hit $2,100, and we've got a surprise for you coming up afterwards as well, so do look forward to that.
Yeah, some nice fun little grapples that aren't too difficult to just take us up to the final boss. So basically the final boss in this game is really hard because there are no tricks. We've used a lot of skips and cheeses to beat a lot of bosses, but there isn't any for these. We're on minimum HP, everything will one-shot us. If we ever guard an attack, then we're dead because it'll stun us because we have minimum posture. We have to do timed parries, which is the orange glow when I get hit, for every single hit and play the fight completely perfectly. So I'm just going to obviously be serious time. Okay, I thought she was doing a different attack, and so I panicked, but it's fine because shadows die twice. Okay, there we go. Do some attacks here to time using the buff items. The buff items halve our HP but give us more damage, but we die in one shot anyway, so it doesn't matter. Phase 1, now for the hard part. He's in a corner, which is bad. Oh, crap. Okay. Okay, that's just unfortunate. I was just getting a bit nervous. Like I shouldn't have said anything about being in the corner. It's just a tricky situation to be in, and it just made me panic. He didn't do anything strange at all. It's just marathon nerves for me. But it's okay, we can just run all the way back over. Yeah, I haven't actually died to that boss fight. As in, like, I've died and then got back up again, as you saw, but to, like, full die, that hasn't happened to me in quite a while. You can deal with everything, almost everything he does. And I didn't get any bad RNG really there. But we're just gonna have to do that again. We don't have any of the we don't have any of the good buff items now, so the fights will take a little bit longer, which makes it harder. Oh yeah, and this cutscene's slightly different. But here we go again. That's the worst thing she can do. As you can see, the boss fights are a little bit longer, but I'm just going to keep concentrating. I need to concentrate for even longer now because we don't have the buff items. Oh, what? Okay. That's... I had a panic attack. No! That's... So... Okay. It's alright, yeah. It's fine. So I'll explain what happened there. So... Oh crap, we got the freaking cutscene because we've given everyone dragon sickness, or whatever it is, I don't know. Dragon rot, there you go, thank you audience. Which I've not even seen in such a long time. So what happened there is we triggered one of the attacks that you never ever want to trigger against him, which I call his like hyper back attack. Basically, in the final phase of that boss fight, if you ever attack him in the back, which is the back 180 degrees of him, then he immediately does an attack that armors through your attacks and then just kills you. It is possible to deal with it by like predicting it, but it's really difficult. So I attacked him in like pretty much completely side on, but slightly in the back, and that just triggered the attack.
While you're getting back there, we've got two quick donations for you. We got a $20 donation from Link Boss saying he's donating for the language incentive by choosing French. Wait, am I late? Zut de fleu. And we also have a $21 donation from Kingfisher Games saying here's 10% of what you're trying to raise. Thanks very much, guys. That puts us to $2,068. We are only $23 away from 2,100, and would be amazing if we could hit that by the end of the marathon. Do keep them coming in.
Okay, I tried to grab a safety idol, and then I realized it doesn't work, because I've never tried to grab that safety idol in, like, a year. Okay, alright. I'm just not going to say anything.
参る。Shura.
再び修羅王とはな。
Oh. Oh my god. He just sat in that corner for so long and it was like, ah. And then yeah, I panicked against the charge attack, but luckily we died twice. So okay, time is coming up in about 10 seconds when the Sekiro logo appears on the screen. Time. Thanks very much for watching this run. That ending was pretty rough, but I think it was a good showcase of what it's like to run this game. I think I just wasn't quite mentally prepared for losing all my items, then having to do a much harder version of the final boss fight without those items. But thanks for sticking through it with me. If you want to run this game, it's a really fun and really satisfying run to do, so I highly recommend it. But I just want to say thanks to everyone here at the UKSG letting me run the game. It's really, really fun to be here. These people are all amazing friends to me. So, but I will throw it over.
Well, before you go there, we do have a $5 donation for you from Darave saying, "Shake it off, man. You've got this. The Sekiro speedrunning community is cheering for you. Thank you for the great run so far." So you've got your community behind you as well.
Yeah, thanks Darave. He's one of the long-time community members for Sekiro, so appreciate that. So thanks very much, everyone, and I'll see you later. Bye.